Coming up tonight in Georgetown, it is natural selection from the United Wrestling Coalition. I'll be down there, and one of the wrestlers down there, the fabulous Jason V, is with me in studio, and it is very important for him, this series of matches coming up. But I want to talk about the card as a whole, Jason, and really, basically, we've got the best the UWC has to offer.
Well, first of all, good morning. Thank you for having me yet again. Mm-hmm. This is 3 months in a row now.
Yes.
So I do appreciate that. We do appreciate all of our fans and friends that listen to this station, as well as the station itself.
I appreciate it even more than you do.
So, but as far as the card, yeah, I mean that's the best way to put it, is the fact that this is kind of the best of the best. Honestly, this is probably the best constructed wrestling show that we have put together all year.
Yeah, it's got a lot of action for folks. For folks who like high flyers, it's got that. For folks who like the wrestling old school, it's got that. For folks who like a little bit of intrigue, it's definitely got that. One of the matches we've got going today this evening is for the UWC Championship, and it involves a man who's certainly recently, in the last several weeks, has been all but unstoppable since his switch over to the Wabash Talent Agency. And he is going up against a real ring veteran, someone who brings everything to the table.
Now, you were speaking of the UWC Championship. It is Blake Reed who is now the champion, and he's taking on homicidal Stephen Davis. Last month when I was sitting right here in this seat, you and I spoke about could Blake Reed be the one to get the job done, and we both kind of felt that he was that guy. Mm-hmm. So he did it. He got the job done. He got some help. He didn't do it all on his own.
Yes.
But we can't really say that he couldn't have got it done if that match went along a couple minutes more. He might have been able to get it on his own, but that's neither here nor there.
He's got it now.
The fact is he has possession of the championship, but in defeating one ring veteran of many, many years, Harper Durge, he now has another ring veteran, homicidal Stephen Davis, who's been doing this 15, 17 years, something like that.
Yeah, since a lot of people were still wanting to find out where it was on television and wrestling, but he's been doing, and he brings everything to the table. He can go a lot of different ways, and it's going to be a very good match between those two. I got to say, young man, the champion has been going through everybody so far. He's been going through everybody, but if you watch him, I've been watching everything he's been doing on UWC Online, and the man, it's starting to get to his head. A little bit.
He felt that once he beat, as he said, the unbeatable Harper Durge, that the sky's the limit. He can beat absolutely anybody in that locker room. And then Stephen Davis was the man that walked through that curtain.
I don't think he expected Stephen Davis to show up. That's going to be a great match tonight. Now, you mentioned Harper Durge, the man who was the former champion, was champion last time we talked. The man who cost him, frankly, straight out, cost him that match against Blake Reed. Travis Weir is going up against him, and that's a young man who we've got an award on a pull match, which is exactly what it says, an award that Travis Weir got from somebody else. Trust me, folks, it's exactly what it says, an award that Travis Weir covets. It was taken from him by Harper Durge because Durge says, "You took my title, I'm taking something of yours." That is now up on the poll in the corner, and whoever gets that first will be the winner.
I sense a little confusion in your voice, and you've been there each and every week, just like me, just like a lot of our fans, and yet still confused. For those of you listening right now, what's going on is there is a group, and they're called the Nosebleed Seats.
Yeah, they're a little west of us.
They're a small crew that covers the entire Central Illinois wrestling community, and every year they have their awards. Mm-hmm. And this year, the 2015 Wrestler of the Year out of the entire Central Illinois and beyond, that award was given to a man named Matt Cage.
A very good wrestler.
Well, Matt Cage has never been one to be anything less but a little bit egotistical. Let's say he's full of himself. He has a lot of athleticism, and he's got a lot of pride in what he does. And Dickie Wabash was the man that kind of got in his head. And however it happened, and Travis Weir goaded Matt Cage into putting that award on the line, and he beat him.
Right.
So by proxy, he then got the Wrestler of the Year award.
Right.
Well, Harker Durge took exception to that, and since Travis Weir was instrumental in taking the championship from Durge took what Weir coveted.
Covet is a light word for it. He practically lives around that thing. What it turns out is the challenge has been made. That will be up on a pole, and Harker Durge has found a way to get inside Travis Weir's head and maybe beat him up a little bit.
It's something I'm personally looking forward to. I've known Harker Durge for many years. I've known Travis Weir for many years, and I've known Matt Cage for many years. I never would have thought that I would see Matt Cage's Wrestler of the Year award hanging precariously above the ring
on a pole
as Harker Durge and Travis Weir battle each other for the right to be claimed the wrestler of. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
You sound just as confused as I do now. Now, one thing I'm definitely not confused about is the 8-man match that's coming up. John Stone, an announcer with a lot of pride, and Bradley Dupree, a guy who lives off his wrestlers' victories. I will hesitate to call him a manager because I've had a few run-ins with him myself. But they got into it over a situation that Bradley Dupree felt he could be as good a ring announcer, if not better, than John Stone. And then John Stone figured he could be just as good a ringside manager. Egos, again, clash. They actually got into a bit of a physical altercation. And they've chosen 3 wrestlers apiece, plus themselves, to be a part of an 8-man match coming up to see who really is the best of both worlds.
And that's going to be interesting as well. The fact is, this is the 4th annual natural selection event.
Right.
And natural selection, by definition, means only the strong survive.
Mm-hmm.
The strong will survive, the weak will perish. And for 3 years, a man by the name of Dickie Wabash has won that 4-on-4 team battle.
Right.
Well, he's kind of taken himself out because his plate's full. He's got Travis Weir versus Harker Durge. He's got Blake Reed versus Stephen Davis. He's got other things on his mind. So Bradley Dupree and John Stone kind of threw their hat in the ring and said, "Whatever you can do, I can do better." And they both were guilty of that. Bradley Dupree is a guy that he thinks he can do everything better than what the person that is doing it can do.
Yes, he does. And John Stone is an extremely talented announcer. And every once in a while his redheadedness gets in the way, and a little bit of pride takes over where probably shouldn't. And the two of them are going to settle it tonight. In fact, the two of them are part of the teams. They could actually get in the ring themselves with this.
Yeah,
they have to if they're going to win.
This is going to be both of their in-ring debuts since UWC has been in Georgetown. So we're going to see, maybe they could surprise us. You don't really know what these guys might be able to do. Well, you can see what they did on the outside of the ring. Yeah. Now we'll see what they do inside.
Well, the teams, certainly the strength category goes to Bradley Dupree's team with Bo Sawyer and Vandy and that bunch. But the other side has the tag team champions, Tornado Jones and Joey O'Reilly, which 2 young men who have no fear of anything. They will fly around, and an insanely crazy man who has no fear of anything.
Last time he was in our ring, he chugged a bottle of maple syrup. I don't know why. I don't know if that actually empowered him.
You can't get into his head because it's all locked.
But that is a man by the name of Shank Barzini, and he's a little out there. He's a left field doesn't necessarily describe it.
No,
he's left field in a field that doesn't have anybody else playing.
He's on the other side of the foul pole.
Yeah,
but he can certainly wrestle, and he's gonna make it all even crazier tonight. Now, the match that you're going to be involved in is one that's been very personal for you and the person you grew up against, Aaron Matthews. And if you could explain it a little bit, because I don't think I would do it justice, because knowing both of you as long as I have an idea, but I want to hear it from you.
Now that you said it's personal, and it is. Aaron Matthews and myself, we've got a long storied history. I mean, he is my blood. He is my nephew. I've known him literally his entire life. And I've seen I've seen what he does. I've seen what he can do. I've seen what his potential is. And 10 years ago this month, we stepped into a professional wrestling ring for the first time. We decided this is our dream. This is what we're going to do with the rest of our lives. We are going to be professional wrestlers. And Aaron Matthews was just naturally the most gifted man and athlete I had ever seen.
Best drop kick in the Midwest.
Easy. And about a year down the line, he was then New Breed Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion. At the same time, he was the Supreme League of Wrestling Supreme Champion. He was getting tag team championships everywhere, all across the Midwest, all the way from Michigan, all the way down through Arkansas and Indiana and Iowa, and everywhere. The man was on fire, and something happened, and he felt he was a superstar. And once you think you're a superstar, that's when the ego starts taking over. And he stopped trying as hard. He stopped doing the things that he needed to do to be a success in the wrestling business because he had discovered outside distractions is, I guess, the best way to put that. He has done plenty of things outside of the ring that have caused him to lose focus on what goes on inside the ring.
Now, folks, I got to remind you that this is coming directly from the person he's wrestling, Jason V. This is from his viewpoint.
And now you see Aaron, for the last year or so in the United Wrestling Coalition, he's been doing nothing but treading water. And I pointed out a couple weeks, I got the chance to do commentary with you personally, and I pointed it out then, there is no shame in a man losing to another man because that man's better than him on any given night. But it's not the men that are beating Aaron Matthews, it's everything else.
Al, I'll pause you for just a second here because the way you've gone about this is certainly, it can come into question. If folks go back and check out UWC Online, you can see how Jason V has gone about this. Certainly, ways that someone outside could see as being interfering yourself and causing him to continue to have problems. Fairly or unfairly, I have to bring that up, but that is going to be part of it tonight. You two are going to be in the ring, and you accepted the challenge from Aaron, but on the stipulation that if Aaron does lose tonight, he no longer wrestles, and that's been a big part of his life. You know it has.
Yeah, that's why the stakes have to be this high. It's essential at this point in the game because as his family and as his friend, I cannot let him continue doing this destructive path that he's doing. And I know how much he loves professional wrestling. I've seen the beaming nature in his eyes and his face when he's out there and he's got 100, 200, 300 fans standing on their feet cheering for him. And if that is taken away from him, that's going to be the one thing that's going to finally make him realize I need to change what I'm doing.
And again, I have to say, we wrapped up here, but that's coming from the man who's going to be wrestling. That's the opinion of Jason V, and you can see where he's going to be coming from tonight. When is the bell time? When is the doors going to be open?
Doors are open at 6:30, bell time 7:30 tonight.
And $7.
$7 at the door.
At the door. If you want to check out what's been happening in UWC, check it out online on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to catch up with UWC online. Jason V, good luck tonight. We'll see you there.
Thank you.